Students, today we will take the topic of expansion of the British rule in India. Already we understood that due to the subsidiary alliance, most of the parts came under the control of British. We can see this from this map also. Okay, so these were the states who accepted their subsidiary alliance. So now they enter to a treaty of friendship with Nepal. Okay, why? Because the Britishers sense a threat from Nepal. Already Nepal fought many battles to capture the frontiers. Frontier means border between two countries. So Britishers don't want any battle with Nepal. So when the Britishers were very busy to control the east and southern parts of India, at that time in north the Sikh group became so much powerful. Britishers know they alone could not win the region, so they kept a friendly relation with the Sikh group. At that time, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, also known as Sher-e Punjab, was the leader of the Sikh group or empire. Lahore was already with Afghans at that time, which is invaded by Ranjit Singh and made a capital. Okay, after that many wars happened between Afghans and Sikh to regain the Lahore position. Meanwhile, he signed a treaty with the British people. He means Ranjit Singh signed a treaty with British people in that they both agreed that the Sikh will not expand their area, that is south of Sutlej river, parts under the British control, and British would not expand their territory into Sikh territory. Okay, also British helped Sikh in the war against Afghanistan also. Later on, the British had an aim or intention to capture the Sikh kingdom, but they know that it is not possible till Maharaja Ranjit Singh was alive. So here Maharaja Ranjit Singh taken help of European soldiers to practice their Sikh or the other soldiers about infantry and artillery. Infantry means soldiers marching by foot and artillery means large caliber guns used in warfare on land. Okay, हिंदी में उसे तोप कहते हैं. With this, they protected their state. Also, they won many battles to attain the nearby state also. But when Ranjit Singh died in 1839, it was said that he died of heart attack. Okay. After his death, the Punjab faced anarchy. What is anarchy? Anarchy means a state of disorder due to absence of authority. Because the whole empire was controlled by Ranjit Singh. Now when he died, the all administration, everything become disturbed. Okay, so the Punjab faced anarchy, and according to the sources, it revealed that Maharaja Ranjit Singh had many wives. Okay, so after his death, there was a huge conflict between the wealth and the position between the wives and along with their children. So as a result, there was a palace coup and assassinations. Palace coup means take over the authority by someone else who of their group only. Okay, so conflict in between their family members only, we can say in simple term. And assassinations means murders. Okay, so this everything is happening after the death of Ranjit Singh. Now this destroyed the unity of the state and give a chance to British to capture this Sikh region. So they declared the war. This was the first Anglo-Sikh war. Okay, in this war, Maharaja Gulab Singh of Jammu also helped British people to capture the Sikh region. Okay, the Sikh region was the capital, Lahore was the capital of the Sikh region. So later on they won this war, but they entered to a treaty with Lahore. What was the treaty? The treaty is known as a peace treaty. Okay, this peace treaty is between East India Company and the Maharaja Duleep Singh Bahadur. Yes, this Duleep Singh Bahadur is one of the son of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Okay, and this was agreed between both that British and Sikh never give shelter to their each other's enemy and not interfere in each other's affairs, or we can say matters also. Okay, but soon in 1848 the British again attacked on Sikh and annexed the Punjab. Now the next topic is Dalhousie's policy of annexation. Now we already know the aim means intention, or we can say motive behind this subsidiary alliance was of Wellesley's policy was just to enslave our country without using his resources. Understand? So some of the states accepted it already, some of not accepted. Later on they have to accept that due to the lack of responsibility in the kingdom itself or mismanagement. Okay, so due to this anarchy situation created indirectly by the British people in the majority states, the Indian rulers trapped in this policy. Okay, yes, this was the policy created by Britishers. Understand? And the Indian rulers were trapped in such policy. Now what happened? British entered in such states by showing them that we will help you to manage your empire. But what happened? Later on those states were annexed by them only. For example, we can take Burma, Punjab were also. These were the examples. Then they issued a new policy called Annexation policy. What is the meaning of that? In this policy, if a king die without a son, his empire will be annexed by the Britishers. In that we can take example like Satara, Jhansi, Nagpur. All these states were annexed under this policy. Now next topic, Dalhousie. Now Dalhousie, when he came to India in 1848, his aim was clear: to get or to give more and more profit to the British traders by trading coffee, tea and cotton. Okay, and so they started acquiring the land for cultivation for tea, coffee and cotton on large scale. Next, he wants to run the administration smoothly, so he made lots of new policies. In his ruling only, the first railway line introduced between Mumbai and Thane in 1853. And the reason behind that, British were struggling at that time because of transportation problem. Okay, so they came up with the idea of railways. They felt that after introduction of railway, transportation of raw material become very easy, or we can say faster. They also bring economic development to the country, give more growth and opportunity to the people, and it has given also growth to the domestic and foreign trade. Postal system and wireless system also introduced in his ruling or his period only. He abolished child marriages and advocate widow remarriage. Understand? And English education through universities, that means established in Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata in 1857. All these reforms were done to expand the British rule only. But although Indian also benefited by these reforms, later on British had to suffer due to these reforms only. Now the last paragraph, that is dissatisfaction of people. Now what it means people were not interested or not satisfied, we can say. Okay, so already majority of empire came under the British control with the help of these policies like subsidiary alliance, divide and rule, or we can say policy of annexation. And again Dalhousie's policy of annexation shocked whole country. If the policy is like that, if you don't have kids, that is male heir, a son, if you don't have, then your empire will be annexed by the British government. Okay, so this started dissatisfaction with British by the Indian people. So this British reforms were made. The British reforms were made to run Indian administration smoothly, but different people reacted in different ways. Some people, like we can say orthodox people, felt that these reforms were made to destroy their custom and culture. Later on, this dissatisfaction arose the first war of independence, okay, that also known as revolt of 1857, or we can say Indian mutiny. I have completed here this chapter. Okay, now hope you all have understood the aspects of this lesson. We will send you the PDF answers of workbook exercise one by one, so do complete the workbook exercise. Okay, thank you.